One of the most anticipated films of the year, adapting one of the most complex characters from literature on screen. But when you have Vishal Bharadwaj and team at the helm, to be or not to be is never the question. Joining me is team Haider. The first question to you, you have taken Hamlet from Denmark, 16th century, to Haider, Kashmir, 19th century. So, Hamlet was at a time of the Reformation, and so what made you take up Hamlet?
I think the story itself, the play and the beautiful story that Shakespeare has written, and I think this play would have been the best way to end my trilogy or to complete my trilogy. So, I think this was the main reason.
And also Hamlet is set at a time of political intrigue. There is also the failure complex. Freud and all had studied Hamlet to understand human psychology. But in the Indian context, how are you going to explain, basically the sexual conflict, that there's underlying sexual conflict and gender issues? How are you planning to do that, adapted to the Indian situation?
I think within the parameters of our society and our culture which permits us to do that, because these kind of complexes or conflicts, they exist in every society. So, whatever, every society has its own culture, its own parameters, within that one should do, and I think I have done that.
Also, Shahid, Hamlet is basically, he is one of the most complex characters, also the hero as a fool, but he is also a relativist, he is also skeptical. What was your understanding of him and manifesting him on screen? How challenging was it?
Even I didn't think before playing this role,
Okay.
many things that you said, really I've done some quite complex stuff. Yes, Hamlet is the most complex role, probably considered one of the most complex roles ever to be essayed by an actor. I felt the weight of Hamlet. I would rather say the weight of Haider, because eventually that's the film that we're making and that's the character that we're creating. But there is a lot of stuff from Hamlet which has been brought into Haider. So I could feel why people feel like that, and I felt very weighed by the responsibility. Halfway through the film, there were many days I would keep asking Vishal sir if he was happy with what I was doing. And he'd keep looking at me and saying, yeah, you're fine, just go ahead and do it. But I just couldn't help myself from asking him, because I just felt like maybe I'll miss out on something, because it's such a complex part and it has so many layers that it becomes very difficult to analyze for yourself whether you are being able to achieve them or not. So I really depended on him whenever, cut would happen. I'd just look at him, and if he was happy, then I'd feel satisfied by the fact that I had done it. So yes, the most difficult role of my career by far, so far, has been Haider.
And also you, Shraddha, a hat-trick seems to be on your hands, but you said playing Arshia was one of your most difficult roles.
We should get to that in a bit, but as you can see who I'm sitting next to, I'm sitting next to Vishal sir and I'm sitting next to Shahid Kapur. So, for me to be here right now is a crazily big deal, which something that I can't articulate in words for myself. So, I don't know how to even look at Vishal sir and express how thankful I am for him to have this faith and trust in me to be a part of this amazing film, which is to basically be a part of posterity. To be a part of something like that is going down in history, right? And for me to be given that coveted opportunity is something which is a once in a lifetime kind of a phenomena to have happened. That aside, of course, Arshia, to be given that by Vishal sir, to play an Indian adapted version of Ophelia and Horatio put together, which sir has very interestingly merged both the characters for Haider. So there's a little more of an addition in terms of a layered characterization. I just feel like it's unbelievable. It's sir has given me this opportunity and he's changed my life. It's craziness.
He has changed your life.
Changed my life.
Also, Vishal sir, Shakespeare, you're quite like, this, as you said, is the last of the trilogy. But what is it about these books when you read that makes you want to adapt those particular subjects that you have, whether it was Macbeth, whether it was Othello, and now?
Yeah, if you go to the literature, you find something really in the layers. It goes beyond the surface. It goes beneath the surface. So that's what literature does to us, and that's why I was looking for it. When I was making Macbeth, my genre was fixed, that I wanted to make a film in underworld genre, but I was looking for a story which can go beyond gang wars, beyond bullets, beyond guns, and that's where I happened to accidentally find Macbeth. And after that, I fell in love with Shakespeare's work, and I read all his plays, and it was very difficult for me to actually decide about my second film, Omkara, because I had then I had a choice of Julius Caesar or Othello, and I went for Othello. Same way in Haider, like I always say that Shakespeare's work can be adapted to any time, any place. You can make it a futuristic film, you can make it a period film, and it's beyond country and beyond any society, beyond any culture. You can place it anywhere. So the stories are so relevant even now. It's a 450-year-old play, but because the stories or the plays he has written about the basic human conflict, about the basic human traits. If a woman becomes a queen, she remains a woman first, the queen later. So he has caught the conflicts of the basic human traits.
And here we have Monica, who has a question for the three of you.
Monica, where are you?
So today, Chetan Bhagat, Stephanie Meyer, and E.L. James films are being, their stories are being filmed. So, and they receive good public response as well. So, sir, ma'am, and sir, do you feel ecstatic or doused about doing a Shakespearean drama in this age of rom-coms and actions?
We have a rom-com and an action in our film. Who says that we don't have? I mean, the literature doesn't mean that it's dry.
Exactly.
It's very juicy. It's full of humor. It's full of wicked humor. It's full of romance. It's full of action. We have a lot of killings.
But still, it's an classic. So what do you feel?
So what's wrong in that? If you can have a classic thing which can entertain you and give you something else, give you something more.
If you didn't know what Hamlet was all about and you saw the promos of this film, you probably wouldn't even know that it's an adaptation of Hamlet. And I think there is very few filmmakers who have the ability and the skill to be able to take something which is as old as Hamlet was or any play of Shakespeare's and to adapt it and keep it relevant for today's time.
Vishal sir, how did you know that Shahid sir was the right actor to portray the role of Haider?
I think let me embarrass Shahid now, because I think Shahid is one of the best actors in his age group, I think. And he still has to tap his talent more. He still has to go down deep. Even after, in Haider what he has done, and you people will see in few days the phenomenal job he has done. But I think still he has to go deep down further to, explore himself.
So, naturally, Shahid, the chip of the old block, because you're a great fan of his father's work as well. Having worked with both father and son, I mean, you of course feel that you're constantly compared to dad.
No, I don't. There is no comparison. He is one of probably the best actor we have in the country. So there is no comparison. There's only pride and love and learning from him, nothing else.
So, I mean, from father to son, sir, your experience with them?
I think I am being the medium. I am learning from him and passing on to him.
That's a good one. Also, sir, actually, our editors had this question. He's saying, Vishal, sir, there's a dichotomy. On one hand, he makes these children films. On the other hand, he makes these dark movies. So, where is this coming from?
I think not just me, we all live on extremes, and if we somehow achieve the golden middle, then I'll be Buddha. So I live on extremes, and in a day also we pass through these emotions, where in some moment we are a kid, and some moment we are a very matured man, and I think I still have to explore more sides of me. So I have just explored an adult and a kid. Now I have to explore an adolescent within me.